So now we are on the part that I think is probably one of the hardest parts, well, besides the actual catching up part. But now we're going to get all the documents you need. And depending on how many things you listed in that business snapshot from the step two, this might be a lot. So uh, the reason we're going to do this now is it's just easier to get everything all in one go. That way you'll have it later. And if you turn out not to need a document, it's better than you're in the middle of catching it up, you think you're almost done, and then you realize you need something else. And like just kind of throws off your whole process. So and you'll be ahead of the game too. Like if you do hire a bookkeeper, they usually need your past records, and so you'll already have everything in one place. It'll be easy to get it for them, and again, make things easier now and in the future. So I have a documents checklist, and I will introduce that. But first, I want us to set up your document storage. So that's really the first thing. Like, where are you going to put all these documents? Um, I would recommend a like something digital, like like a Google Drive. Basically, not physical. Like you can have the paper copies. That's fine, and store them in the folder or envelope. But it's best to have them also available digitally, just in case they fade, get old. Receipts they're not forever. So I would recommend that. So choose where you're going to store everything. Then next, you want to create a folder in that. Let's just go with Drive, Google Drive. Create a folder called Finances. And then that's it. I'm keeping this simple. Again, if you want to call it like your business name Finances or whatever, that's fine. But again, just call it Finances, keeping it simple. The next, that's the folder you're going to use to upload everything that we're going to go over. And then I have like this optional step. So if you have the brain space to get more organized, you can continue listening. If not, you can kind of ignore this part, and I'll let me see what I'll do. I'll like wave, I guess, that you can come back, or if you're trying to just skim through. But this is if you have the brain space energy to get more organized, this is what you'll do. Okay, so you know what? I think I'm gonna pull this on screen. That way you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's pull this over here and make me smaller. So there you go. In this gray box here. So this is to get you a little bit more organized so that later when you come back, things are easier to find. So first we're gonna basically create a folder for each item, each account that you listed on the business snapshot. So first thing, create a folder called Business Information Documents. Okay, and then and that's the first folder we're going to create. And then the second folder we're going to create is for your bank, like a bank account, your checking or savings. And then depending on if you have, let's say, two checking accounts, one credit card, then we're going to create 3 total folders. So one for the first checking, second checking, and then the credit card. So you can't see that, the credit card. And so the how to name those folders is right here. This is why I wanted to show you because it's kind of hard. But basically, we're going to name it the bank name and then the last 4 digits of the account number. So if your Chase checking account is like Chase, and then I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. I forget how many numbers, but those last 4 numbers, you'll just put that in the name. So it's Chase 7890. And then you're just going to keep doing that for each bank and credit card you listed. And then after those, then you'll just create a folder for each of the other items you've listed. So if you have a loan, you'll create a folder for the loan. For, let's say, your POS or Square, create a folder named Square. If you've got I'm trying to think what else. Like a car, business owns a vehicle, then create a folder called whatever the car type is, or you can just call it vehicle. Just keep it simple. And that way you can just dump all the documents for each of those items into that one specific folder. Again, just to get more organized. Okay, so I'm gonna move this back. And yes, this is just a screensaver. I didn't choose it. It's cute though. All right, I'll come back. All right, so we are done with the extra step. So going back to our original thing so now we're just gonna upload all the documents. You're gonna go down your list. But first, before you do that, wait. We want to get your business information. So let me pull up the checklist, documents. Oh, sorry, I have lost me. Make me tiny. Pull up. Okay, so our documents checklist. Oh, I'm lost again. 1 second. Okay, so Adobe's not playing nice with my recording, so we'll keep it like this size. But this is the checklist of documents that you would, again, it's not specific to your business, but you would in general need to have. And so this business information section, it's not on the snapshot because this is just the records of your business, like how it's set up. It's tax ID number, all the information about your business, and in the case of like the tax return or loan schedules, these are just in the informational documents. So you want to have upload these to that finances folder. If you did the more organized step, it would be the business information folder. But just get all of these and download them. Okay, and if you don't have something, you can take it off the list. It doesn't apply to you. So next, we want to get all the documents for your assets, for that vehicle, equipment, machinery that you bought for the business. You want to get the receipts of purchase, and that should include what you paid, and then what you paid, that includes like any sales tax, shipping, anything that you paid to actually get that item. So you paid for the item, and then any fees associated with getting it. Then you want the receipt to show all of that. And then you also want to have the depreciation schedules for that vehicle or equipment or machinery. And just store all that in one place. Okay, once you do that, then we move on to what most people are probably more familiar with, which is all of the statements, the reports. So, and I'm not going to read through this whole list because it might not apply to you. You can see it here, but basically like sales tax, bank accounts, check images. If you write checks, you will want to get the images. That way you can refer back to them easily if you have questions, or if you have a bookkeeper who's working on it, they can look at that and not have to ask you about every single check. Same with any other account, get those statements. And you want to get the statements for each month, which is usually how they come. But pro tip, so get the PDF statement, but also download the CSV file. And the reason for that is in case if you're using software or if you're making your own spreadsheet, you can just use that CSV file to either import transactions if for some reason the software doesn't work, or you can just use that CSV file to put into your bookkeeping spreadsheet. That way you just less work for everyone. So download the CSV file for all the months that you're catching up. Okay, payment processors, POS, download those as well. And then if we've got receipts, bills, and invoices, so any open invoices for your business, any bills, so like anything that's unpaid. And then we also want a report of what's paid. So if you're using like a third-party software to record this, you want their reports. That way you know what they said is done, and we want to later we'll just make sure that it agrees with what your records say. Any receipts so basically you want all the receipts, but especially receipts if you paid for a business expense with cash, or if you paid for it with your personal funds, not out of the business account. So you definitely want receipts for that. And then you need your payroll records, details for each payroll, and W-9s for all subcontractors, people that you you don't pay their payroll taxes. They take care of their own taxes for the year. All right. And so this might take a little bit of time, but once you're done with it, that's it. All right. That's it for this step. Sorry.